Hi, it's Richard Osman here, the author of the Thursday Murder Club books. I do other stuff as well, but in the context of now, I'm the author of the Thursday Murder Club books. I have 4 paddles in my hand, and they represent the 4 characters in the Thursday Murder Club. There they all are. I'm going to be asked a series of questions, and I have to choose one of my characters. Who would win the Traitors? Listen, they'd all be pretty good. Ibrahim would think he'd win the Traitors. Ron would be voted out immediately. Elizabeth, she's an ex-spy, so she should be able to work out who's a mole, shouldn't she? But listen, we know there's one answer to this. She would go under the radar, everyone would adore her, and she'd have been a traitor all along. The winner is Joyce. The best companion on a desert island is a tricky one. You'd certainly have fun with Ron. You'd be having a laugh with Ron. You'd certainly be well fed with Joyce. She'd find a way to make coconuts into a flan fairly quickly. I think, however, I'm going to have to choose Elizabeth, because I suspect Elizabeth could probably conjure up a nuclear submarine to come and pick you up at some point. Who would throw the best Eurovision party? Well, listen, I love a Eurovision party, so I would happily throw a Eurovision party and invite the 4 of them. Elizabeth, I suspect, would look down her nose slightly at Eurovision. Ron would look down slightly at his nose for the first 3, and then he'd have a few drinks, and then he'd be absolutely in the party mood. Joyce would just be looking at the dresses. But I think someone who would take Eurovision seriously, and I take it very, very seriously, I'm going to Ibrahim's party. Make it to the final of Bake Off. I mean, listen, Joyce is one of the all-time great bakers. We know that. But would she fall to pieces in the tent? I'd love to see the 4 of them in the tent at the same time. Ibrahim just very carefully measuring out all the ingredients. Joyce just using her years and years of skill. Elizabeth, I don't know what she would do. She'd probably get someone to bake for her. But I think, do you know what? I think he might surprise us. I think because under pressure, he always comes good. It's Ron. The best pub quiz partner. I mean, they'd be an interesting team, the 4 of them. They would certainly cover a lot of bases. I write a lot in the books about Joyce and Ibrahim watching University Challenge and Only Connect together. Joyce doesn't get anything right. Ibrahim gets like 1 or 2 right, but I think getting 1 or 2 questions right in University Challenge or Only Connect, I think that means that you're a great quizzer. So Ron for sport, but Ibrahim as an all-rounder. Who would be the first to cry at Christmas adverts? I think there's one person here. If West Ham lose a match, this is the guy who's in tears. Ron. He'd love a Christmas advert, but he'd be blubbing from the first second. Who would go viral on TikTok without realizing? I mean, we know exactly who that would be. God bless all my other characters. But Joyce has a way of interacting with the world, shall we say, where she's not absolutely certain what it is she's doing, but everybody loves it. Her Instagram handle, let's not forget, is GreatJoy69 because, well, listen, you have to read one of the books, you'll find out why that is. I can absolutely see Joyce doing something she thinks is utterly reasonable and the whole world falling in love with Joyce Meadowcroft. Who would be the best Prime Minister of these 4? Well, Ron would think he would be a great Prime Minister, that's for sure. Elizabeth would think she was a great Prime Minister. She's met all of them, of course, Elizabeth. Joyce would think she wasn't a great Prime Minister. And Ibrahim would like to think that he would be, I guess, a behind the scenes to a Prime Minister. So I would say maybe we make Joyce Prime Minister, but we put Ron, Ibrahim and Elizabeth all in her cabinet, and each of them could pull a different string. Who would read your messages but rarely reply? Joyce would always reply immediately. I'm one of those people, I will either reply to you immediately or never. Elizabeth, listen, if you've got a message about a murder, she's going to get back to you. If you've got a message about anything else whatsoever, you are never, ever going to hear back from Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Who would I trust with my social media accounts? I mean, by and large, I wouldn't trust anyone with my social media accounts. Would anybody? But in the very unlikely scenario that someone comes to me and say there are 4 fictional characters, one of them has to take charge of your social media accounts. I mean, there's one person here who is incredibly good at keeping secrets and knows exactly how to do it, and also probably wouldn't be bothered to ever tweet. I'd just go with Elizabeth because she would just leave it be. Who would be the reason for the queue at the self-checkout? Elizabeth, I don't think, would use a self-checkout. Ron still likes to only pay in cash, so he wouldn't use a self-checkout. Ibrahim, I think, likes to think he would commune with a self-checkout. So I think probably, God bless her, Joyce. Now, Joyce would only use a self-checkout if there wasn't a normal checkout open because he wants to talk to the checkout operator. So if she's forced to use a self-checkout, I think she would start talking to it and she would say thank you afterwards, and all that stuff's going to add up and a queue is going to form. Who would have thousands of club card points without realizing? Ron would never have a club card because that's not his vibe. Ibrahim would know exactly how many club card points he's got. In fact, he and Joyce would probably team their club card points up. But I think that I can imagine our friend Elizabeth spending a lot of time in a lot of shops and not understanding that every time she's handing that card over, she could literally be making £7.50 on her next Pantene purchase. So I think Elizabeth would clock up a lot of club card points. Who would be the best flatmate out of these 4 characters? Listen, Joyce for the cooking, I guess. I love all my characters in different ways and for different reasons. If I had to live with one of them, it would be Ron, because we could watch the football. Who would give the best hugs? Ibrahim and Elizabeth don't love giving hugs, so when they do, they would be special. I'll give them that. Joyce can give away a million hugs and does it beautifully. I'm a big guy. If you hug me, yeah, you better be a big guy as well. There's only one choice. Ron. Thanks for the hugs, Ron. The Impossible Fortune, starring these 4 idiots, out to pre-order right now.